Stop announcing every move. Stop telling people what you are going to become. Stop asking for permission to build the life you want. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is disappear for a while and let your results speak. We live in a world where people are rewarded for looking successful before becoming successful. Everyone wants to post the journey, explain the plan, and collect applause before the work is even done. But real transformation rarely happens in public. Real transformation happens in silence. The strongest trees grow quietly. The deepest oceans move without noise. And the greatest changes in life are often invisible at first. There is something powerful about becoming obsessed with progress instead of attention. Think about it. When you constantly talk about your goals, you release energy that should have been used to achieve them. Every compliment for something you haven't done yet feels like false victory. Every conversation about your future can trick your mind into believing progress already happened. But quiet work changes everything. Quiet work means waking up and doing what needs to be done without needing recognition. It means improving your skills while nobody notices. It means building discipline while everyone else is distracted. It means staying focused while the world competes for attention. Because one day people will look at your life and ask, when did this happen? And they'll never understand the mornings nobody saw, the nights nobody applauded, the sacrifices nobody respected. That is the beauty of silent growth. You don't need to convince people. You don't need to win arguments. You don't need to prove your potential. You only need to keep moving. Every quiet decision you make today becomes visible tomorrow. Every hour of unseen effort becomes confidence. Every small improvement becomes a completely different life. So disappear from unnecessary noise. Work in silence. Build in private. Grow without announcing it. And when the results arrive, let your life become the introduction people never expected. If this message speaks to you, make one promise today: less talking, more building. Most people misunderstand silence. They think if nobody notices your effort, it means nothing important is happening. They think progress only counts when people clap for it. But the truth is completely different. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. The loudest people are not always winning. Many people spend more time talking about goals than actually working on them. They announce plans, explain dreams, share future success before it exists, and slowly become addicted to attention instead of achievement. But silent people operate differently. They understand something powerful. Energy grows where attention goes. When you stop trying to convince everyone that you are becoming better, you gain more time to actually become better. Think about the moments that change lives. A person learns new skills quietly. Someone improves their mindset quietly. Someone wakes up earlier quietly. Someone studies while others sleep. Someone trains while nobody is watching. None of these moments look impressive from the outside. But day after day, they create a version of a person that people eventually call successful. Silence protects momentum, because not every dream needs an audience. Not every goal needs approval. Not every move needs to be explained. When you share everything too early, opinions start entering your mind. Doubt appears. Pressure grows. Expectations increase. Suddenly you are performing for people instead of building for yourself. Quiet work removes that pressure. It gives you freedom. Freedom to fail privately. Freedom to improve without judgment. Freedom to focus without interruption. And there is another advantage to moving quietly. People underestimate what they cannot see. While others assume nothing is happening, you are learning. You are developing. You are becoming stronger. You are creating results that cannot be argued with, because words can be challenged. Promises can be ignored. But results are undeniable. There is no need to announce your comeback. There is no need to explain your ambition. There is no need to prove your future. Your actions will do that. Your consistency will do that. Your discipline will do that. Keep showing up. Keep building. Keep growing. Stay committed even when nobody notices. One day, the same people who overlooked your silence will notice your transformation. And they will think success happened suddenly. But you will know the truth. It was never sudden. It was built quietly, one decision at a time. One of the biggest reasons people never reach their potential has nothing to do with talent, opportunity, intelligence, or luck. It is the need to be seen, the need to be approved, the need to hear someone say, "You're doing great." And without realizing it, people begin building their choices around reactions instead of results. But the moment you stop chasing validation, your life begins to change. Validation feels good for a moment. Someone praises your idea. Someone admires your goal. Someone tells you that you are capable. And suddenly you feel motivated. But here is the danger. If your motivation comes from outside, your progress will stop the moment the applause disappears. Real growth begins when you learn to continue without recognition, because people will not always understand your vision. Some will ignore it, some will doubt it, some will laugh, and some will support you only after you succeed. That is why depending on approval is one of the weakest foundations you can build your future on. Results require something stronger. Internal commitment. The ability to keep moving when nobody notices. The discipline to continue when nobody asks. The courage to trust your process before anyone believes in it. Ask yourself this: how much time have you spent explaining your goals? How much energy have you wasted proving your worth? How many decisions were made just to impress people who are not building your future? Imagine if all that energy was redirected. Instead of talking, you create. Instead of comparing, you improve. Instead of seeking attention, you develop skills. Instead of waiting for permission, you take action. That is where results begin. Because results speak a language validation never can. Results create confidence. Results create opportunities. Results create freedom. And unlike approval, results stay. You do not need everyone to agree with your dream. You do not need people to constantly encourage you. You do not need public support to begin. You only need enough belief to take the next step. Then another. Then another. Small actions repeated quietly become visible success. Remember this. People often celebrate finished stories, but they rarely celebrate the invisible chapters. So stop measuring your progress by reactions. Measure it by growth. Measure it by effort. Measure it by how much stronger, wiser, and more disciplined you become. Keep creating, keep improving, keep moving. And one day your results will speak so clearly that validation will become unnecessary. Success is rarely created in dramatic moments. It is created in ordinary moments repeated long enough to become extraordinary. People often imagine transformation as one huge breakthrough, one lucky opportunity, one perfect day where everything suddenly changes. But real change almost never happens that way. A completely different life is usually built through habits nobody sees. Quiet decisions, small actions, invisible routines, things that seem too simple to matter until they become impossible to ignore. The problem is that most people only respect visible results. They admire confidence, but ignore the hours of preparation. They admire discipline but ignore the mornings of resistance. They admire achievement but ignore the months of repetition. What they don't understand is that success is often hidden long before it becomes visible. Every habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every day you choose growth over comfort, you change your future. Every time you show up when you do not feel motivated, you strengthen your identity. That is why habits matter more than excitement. Excitement comes and goes. Motivation rises and falls. But habits continue. A person who waits to feel inspired will move occasionally. A person who builds habits moves consistently. Think about the power of invisible routines, reading a few pages every day, practicing a skill for 1 hour, learning instead of scrolling, improving your mindset, managing your time, staying committed to promises you made to yourself. None of these actions look impressive in a single day, but repeated over weeks and months, they begin creating distance between who you are and who you used to be. And here is something important. Nobody will celebrate your habits. Nobody will clap because you stayed disciplined today. Nobody will announce your progress while you are still building. That is why many people quit. They mistake silence for failure. But silence is often proof that foundations are being built. Do not underestimate what repeated effort can do. Your future is not decided by one perfect moment. It is shaped by what you do consistently, the hidden routines, the private standards, the daily choices. That is where transformation lives. So stop waiting for giant opportunities. Build habits that work even on ordinary days. Protect your routines. Respect your process. Keep showing up even when results seem invisible. Because one day people will notice your confidence, your growth, your discipline, and your success. And they will think it appeared overnight. But you will know it was built quietly, one habit at a time. One of the most valuable skills you can develop is the ability to protect your energy. Not your time, not your image, your energy. Because where your energy goes, your life follows. Most people are not exhausted because they are working too hard. They are exhausted because they are giving attention to too many things that do not matter. Too many opinions, too many distractions, too many unnecessary conversations, too much comparison, too much noise. And little by little, they lose focus on what actually changes their life. The world is designed to pull your attention in every direction. Notifications compete for your focus. People compete for your reactions. Endless information competes for your thoughts. If you are not careful, you can spend years feeling busy while creating nothing meaningful. That is why quiet growth requires protection. You cannot build something powerful while constantly reacting to everything around you. Every distraction has a cost, not because it takes minutes, but because it steals momentum. Momentum is difficult to create and easy to break. One unnecessary habit becomes lost focus. Lost focus becomes lost days. Lost days become lost months. And suddenly, people wonder why life feels unchanged. The answer is often simple. Too much noise, not enough intention. Protecting your energy means learning to say no. No to activities that do not move you forward. No to endless comparison. No to explaining yourself to people who do not understand your vision. No to habits that leave you empty. No to spending hours watching other people build while your own goals wait. You do not need to respond to everything. You do not need to join every discussion. You do not need to prove your worth every day. Sometimes the strongest move is silence. Sometimes progress looks like stepping away. Not because you are giving up, but because you are choosing where your energy belongs. Your goals deserve your best attention. Your future deserves your strongest effort. And that effort becomes impossible when your mind is scattered. Imagine what would happen if you gave your dreams the same energy